Good evening, my name is William Roberson. I'm going to be going over ESG and how we can bring that into the agricultural industry and try to make it a little bit better on what we're doing on our small farm here to help combat that. So one of the big things in the ag industry is sustainability, and it's not that sustainable. So whenever we look at total U.S. farmland, about 67% of that goes to feeding the animals that we consume. Whenever you kind of break that down and think about it, a lot of those corn and soybean fields are monocrops, so it's not very great and diverse for the local ecology. And then that then has to be trucked to a feed mill, and then from the feed mill, then trucked to the feedlots. So it's a lot of pollution from exhaust and wear and tear from tires and everything with that. And then even for the local ecology there, the monocrop isn't very helpful, so you don't have a lot of wildlife, and you're always pulling nutrients out of that soil because it's not replanted with anything to help get the nutrients back in. So it's then having to be sprayed with fertilizer. And when that fertilizer builds up, it can often run off into waterways and contaminate fresh drinking water or even the marine life, as we've seen with the Mississippi River Delta, and how a lot of the shrimp and everything that used to be able to get caught there are no longer there because it's kind of created a dead zone from the pollution. One of the ways that we're combating that on our farm is trying to keep our animals as grass-fed as possible and moving them around on that pasture to help kind of keep them happy, keep them on fresh grass. And it helps keep them more sustainable that way if we're not having to bring in as much feed. We still have to supplement with some grain, but we try and source as close as possible, so it's not a lot of trucking impact. And with that, the treatment of the animals is also a little bit better, because when you think of commercial agriculture with that, you think of the feedlots and everything packed together. And for us, it's not the case. We like to keep all of our animals on fresh grass and moving them around so they're not sitting in their own manure. The grass has a chance to come back and be healthy, and they continue to feed from it. And whenever we do have to keep them on deep bedding, of whenever the grasses are growing, if we're getting ready to get a hurricane or something come through where we can't keep them out on pasture, we make sure to keep them on deep bedding and still trying to feed them as much waste produce that we can. And that generally keeps the animals a little bit happier. And then whenever it comes to the treatment of that, that's one of the big things, is keeping them happy. And it's a pretty ethical thing to do. And then one of the big things that isn't so much of an issue on our farm yet, because we're not quite at that scale, but in the ag industry, is workers' rights. The harvesters are notoriously underpaid, work long hours, and don't have any benefits. And that's one thing that we can change, is to start at least giving them a livable wage, and some of the benefits that they can kind of be covered and help heal from some of that and get the same benefits as well, even if it does lead to a little bit of a higher food cost. I know with a lot of local farms here that I originally got my produce from, I haven't noticed much of a difference in that. But that's us. That's our part that we're doing to make everything a little bit better, and thank you.